All right, good morning, traders. Today is December 19th, 2024. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. All right, I want to thank everybody out there in digital land, cyber land. I'm talking about Facebook, Rumble, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, anybody and everybody that finds value in my content over the internet. Thank you so much, all right? Appreciate the thumbs up. Appreciate you being a subscriber and a member. Appreciate that. And I love all my members in the room here. You guys are special to me. All right. My SPY pivot this morning is 595. And I will review how I got that because that was one heck of a candle yesterday on the 2-hour chart. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. SPY closed with a 2-hour downtrend and a 10-minute downtrend. No surprise there. All of the Fab 5 made lower highs and lower lows, closing under their traps and under their 17 EMAs. All of the Fab 5 have all, if they weren't in a downtrend, they're all in a downtrend now. Let me review that. Maybe not FNGU and QQQ. I think I need to review that. Gold in a downtrend made a lower low and a lower high, closing below a bearish trap under the 17. Silver in a downtrend made a lower high and a lower low, closing under the bearish trap under the 17. UNG in a downtrend made a higher high, opposite direction, and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. USO, unfazed by yesterday's price action, in an uptrend still, made a higher high and a higher low, closing inside a bullish trap over the 17. US dollar index ratcheted up even higher and closed near the 108.23 area. Let's go take a look at some charts. All right, here's the game plan for this morning, okay? Up over 595, that's my bullish entry up there. It's not really green erase is red. There's no green candles, but it happens to be the midpoint of the breakdown. Okay, it's the midpoint of the breakdown, and that's how I got the 595. There's an aggressive entry this morning, and that's price over 590.20, and it's to be taken with extreme caution if you're taking it early or when the market opens. All right, SPY price over 595. That's my bullish entry right there, 595. This needs to come down, and it's like right on top of there, 595. All right. Price underneath, 586.35. That's my bearish red erases green. All right. So red erases this green down here. And we're looking for, because price moved up from here up. And underneath 586.35, I want to be a bear. All right. So big wide swath here. Almost a $10 stretch between the two of them. All right, that's because we got like it's a $20 2-hour candle. There's a rare and hard to find. All right, so that's again over 595 a bull, underneath 586.35 I'm a bear, and that's just for this morning. Now as price gets moving, all right, we'll find probably a better entry for our bearish entry. All right, but we'll wait till let price do its thing. Let's see if it gets up to 595 and bounces off or away from it. And then we'll look for our first entry for red erases green. And we'll look into the candles in there. All right, so there's the game plan this morning. All right, let's take a look at 10-minute. You can see we got a 10-minute downtrend. You see the faster moving average. That's the thin yellow line. Okay, and the price candles, okay, are underneath the white thin line, all right, and the red dots. Okay, so you got price and the 3 underneath the white 8 EMA and the 17 EMA red dots. Okay, so see the space between the two, the yellow line and the white line. For me, that's a downtrend right there on the 10-minute. Take a look at the 2-hour chart. See what I'm talking about? $20 2-hour candle. Okay, 2-hour chart. Again, you've got price and the 3 EMA underneath the two other slower moving averages. Okay, the red dots are the 17. The white line is the 8. Okay, so price and 3 are underneath the 8 and the 17. That's a 2-hour downtrend for me. On the daily chart, okay? So we came down here, we broke the low. That's 2-hour downtrend right there. That's a daily downtrend because we broke the lows right there. Now we have to break these highs in order to negate the downtrend and convert the uptrend. So a lot of work to be done over the next, month or so if we even get there. All right, so there's the daily chart. All right, look for price to probably meander its way back to the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, if it gets on top of that, we can be bullish again. Until then, I'm going to stick with being a bear. We're in a downtrend. That was a big, loud candle right there. All right, $20 candle. That's a loud candle. They're trying to say something. All right, so there's a daily chart. We're in a daily downtrend on the SPY. All right, so what happened yesterday? If you want to know what happened, let's go to the weekly chart. Okay, weekly chart, you can see price moves up, makes a big skip right there. Here's your second skip. This is like skipping a stone across the water. All right, here's the first one, second one. Notice how they get shorter and shorter. All right, and that kind of signals the stone's done with its forward momentum, and then it begins to sink. All right, so there's the skips there. On the weekly, you see we got a nice weekly uptrend. Well, right here we had one of the biggest green candles we've ever seen, okay, in a long, long time. Look back at all these candles, okay, coming all the way back here. Okay, so it's the biggest candle near the end of a move, all right? 600 would be a target. Notice it ends on 601.75. So 600 happens to be a target. And you can see price blasts into that in one last part. All right. Then after that, I've seen this happen 100 times. After the exhaustion candle, what you think would be an exhaustion candle, now price is going to come back the other way. The market likes to put in an exclamation point, and that's a three candle move. All right. It's 1, 2, 3. All right. And they continue in the same direction as the exhaustion candle. All right, 1, 2, 3, and then after that, usually it's game over for a while. And I mean a while. I'm talking probably like months, maybe a year or two. All right, so there's SPY. That's on the weekly chart. So we had the exhaustion candle. We had the 3-bar. But notice there's about 10 days there. Actually, 15 days, 15 trading days, which happens to encompass about 3 weeks. Okay, so it didn't happen right away that we broke down. So you go down to the daily chart. Actually, we'll drill to the hour. And you can see, I've said this a couple times in my webinars, look for the 3 peak touch, all right? And then get ready for price to drop. Here's your 3 peak touch. 1, 2, 3, all right? And usually after the third one, you better be ready for the drop right there. Okay, so what did we have? We had consolidation. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this. All right, put it underneath here. This is our hourly chart. I'm going to spread it out so you can see it playing out in real time. All right, so here's price. Price comes up from underneath. All right, so price moves up to the top of the channel. Okay, sellers come in, push it back down to the bottom of the channel. Price goes up. This is our typical consolidation. Back down, back up, back down, back up a little bit, back down, back up. And now here's your 2 try half back right there. All right. Now they're going to say FOMC caused the whole thing. Technically, they created this because I've seen this happen 100 times. All right, it just happens on other products, and I've seen it happen before over and over. Here's our consolidation, up, back, up, back, up, back, half back. Notice they tried it twice, and then, of course, the FOMC announcement, and then you got the free fall. Okay, so that's what happened. There's our consolidation playing out so you can see it. All right, so you see it on the weekly. All right, you notice the weekly didn't fall right after the last candle. Okay, so you're waiting for things to play out and you watch them on the hourly. Bing, bing, bing. And then here's your half back. And then you got your free fall. All right, so there's SPY. All right, let's go take a look at QQQ. This is the same thing I explained yesterday morning. All right, let's take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ on the daily. Let me see if we break anything. QQQ is still in an uptrend. My bad. All right, QQQ is still in an uptrend here. They did not break this low. They had to break this low in order to be in a daily downtrend. So that's a false statement. I'll have to go back and fix that. So QQQ still in an uptrend. All right, on the daily chart. All right, making higher lows and higher highs. Just a big red candle right here. So there's the daily chart for QQQ. Look for this to recover the half point back up to the 8. See if they can get back up there, at least back to the 3. All right, I would expect QQQ to make its way back to the 3 EMA. All right, let's take a look at FNGU. FNGU still in an uptrend. They have to break this low in order to start a downtrend way down here. It's got a long ways to go. All right, so FNGU still in an uptrend. Okay, FNGU still in the uptrend. All right, so there's FNGU closing lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, not under, but over the 17 EMA. Still bullish there. Back to QQQ. Okay, lower high, lower low, closing under a trap and under the 17 EMA. All right, let's take a look at IWM. That could be the end of the move. That's a possibility. Big candle at the end of the move. So there's IWM. That could be the exhaustion candle down. So there's IWM on the daily chart, lower high, lower low, closing under the bearish trap, under the 17 EMA. All right, they entered downtrend. They broke this low, so they're in a downtrend now. Okay, Diamond Dow, same thing. Higher high, lower low, closing underneath the pivot here. All right, so they're in a downtrend as well. So you get SPY, Diamond Dow, and IWM Russell 2000 in downtrends. You got QQQ and FNGU still in uptrends. All right, so we'll see what happens. Maybe SPY recovers. We'll see what happens. So there's a daily chart. All right, everything just kind of neutral right now. Some of them leaning a little bit more bullish. Notice we're still over. We're back up over the midpoint. That's a little bit bullish there. IWM. Let's try the scratch. Now we're under the midpoint there. All right. And on SPY, let's drag this out to September. Right there. Still a little bullish here. See, we're still in the upper third. Right there. So still a little bullish, but started a downtrend yesterday. Hey, good morning, JA. All right, let's take a look at our technicals. T2122. All right, that's the lowest I've ever seen it. It was like at like 0.6 was the lowest it was yesterday. Not even a single digit. All right, it was at 0.6. Okay, so in the oversold zone. All right, for T2122, still trapped underneath this downtrend line. Probably get back to the sellers. Probably get back to the sell zone later today. Maybe poke some candles into the seller's chop zone. We'll see what happens. I'm probably expecting to get back into the sell zone later today. We'll see what happens if the bulls, if the sellers are done, or if they want to continue with what they started. All right. So there's T2122, T2123. In a downtrend, all right? Price action underneath the falling 200 SMA right here. Price action started out the day with a little red-green or green-red, little green-red, and then you can see here's the free fall right there. And big red putting in a whole lot of space between a rolling over 200 SMA and the price action. So where would they find support? Let's just take a look. Well, obviously, it's not here. Maybe they recover that today. It's a possibility they recover that today. That's where they should have found support, is right there. So we'll see what happens today if they recover that. Or if they consolidate underneath it, then I would look for further ride down. Okay, so we'll see what happens. There's T2123, 3-bar chart. Not 3-bar, 15-minute chart. On the 3-bar chart, we find ourselves underneath a rising 200. Curious if they snap this back today. I'll be surprised if they do. Price action, you can see here, putting in a whole lot of space, closing well below the 17 EMA right here, rolling over underneath the 200 SMA. You can see price action here. That's where they should have found support, is right through here and all this consolidation. If not, we're coming all the way down to this area right there. All right. If they don't spin this around today, or if they get caught consolidating underneath this pivot here, chances are they're rolling over to come down to here. It'll take them a few days to get up on top of this. If they do, all right, and they need to hold it for more than 3 or 4 days, not just one day. All right, you need to hold it for at least a couple days. T2123. All right, in a downtrend right now. T2122, also in a downtrend. FNGU. Falling out of the sky here, red from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. Price action still up over prior high anchored VWAP, okay, because that is an all-time high for FNGU. All right, price action still underneath the 200 SMA, all right, on the 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart, red lines are usually the 200 SMA. Okay, so price action caught underneath there. Maybe they'll find their way back up here, at least to VWAP, hopefully over the 200. We'll see what happens. There's FNGU. All right, let's look at it on the, no, we don't want to look at it that way yet. All right, so there's FNGU. Let's take a look at some precious metals. We'll start off with silver. Silver's in a downtrend, lower high, lower low, closing under the bearish trap underneath the 17 EMA. Down here in quadrant 2. Not looking good for silver. Head and shoulders set up, and now we're getting the extension. Now look for the right arm to extend as far as the left arm, which would be right here, 25.27. Maybe look for a bounce on that. All right. Look for the right arm to come on down to where the left arm started. All right. So there's silver. All right. In a downtrend. Take a look at gold. Gold in a downtrend, they broke these lows. Okay, so they made a lower low, so they're now in a downtrend. They were in an uptrend right there, and then they lost it. Now they're back into a downtrend underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP there. Price action for yesterday, lower high, lower low, closing underneath the trap, underneath the 17 EMA. Okay, so there's gold in a downtrend. All right, but still on the bullish side of the midpoint. All right, notice that. Still on the bullish side, but definitely not in the upper third, not in quadrant 4, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, but still on the bullish side of the midpoint. So that's still neutral bullish on gold. All right, let's take a look at UNG. Now UNG put in a really nice candle on Tuesday. Wednesday was the fallout day. Okay, look at that bullish engulfing on Tuesday. Got a little bit of follow through here with a higher low and a higher high, closing up over the bullish trap and over the 17 EMA. Okay, so you can see UNG making a comeback this morning. Still not in an uptrend. They have made higher lows. See that? They're making higher lows, but no higher highs yet. I think they're coming. All right. Just going to take probably another week, maybe even a day. We'll see. UNG still in a downtrend. Still very all over the place. Nothing really set up. See, like there's a nice run. No really nice runs. Everything's just kind of sloppy through here. So there's UNG. Let's take a look at USO. USO still in an uptrend, still in that wedge. Here's the wedge. Price action comes up through here, and then price action comes down through here. Okay, so now they broke out of the wedge on the top side, but not a real defiant breakout. You know, I want to see it when, you know, like when you open up the back door and you let the dog go out. I mean, he like flies out the door. Okay, I'm not seeing that from USO, so kind of wanted to break over this area up here, 75, 74.90 area. Okay, for me to be inspired. Okay, I said I would support whoever breaks out of the wedge. Well, I'm not feeling the breakout. Okay, just not. It's not like you know, I don't see the dog bolting out the door. All right, so still kind of got this wedge going on. Maybe the wedge is getting extended. All right, it's a possibility. Maybe the wedge goes out further. All right, maybe they need more time. See that? We'll see what happens. All right, but I'm not feeling it yet. Not till they get up over 74.90. So there's USO in an uptrend, but still just consolidating inside this wedge. All right, so let's take a look at SMH. So SMH was in an uptrend, and they just got themselves into a downtrend. 1 day of trading. Boom. Bearish engulfing, closing below this peak down, this valley down there, making a lower low. So SMH down into a downtrend. Price action, higher high, lower low, closing underneath the bearish trap, underneath the 17 EMA, now back underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP. So SMH still neutral bullish. They're up over the midpoint. All right, they're not in the upper third. Look like they're ready to climb into the upper third right now. All right, and they're no longer in quadrant 4. So SMH kind of neutral bullish. Let's take a look at XLI. XLI in a downtrend, all right, below the midpoint, neutral bearish. XLU, below the midpoint, neutral bearish, okay, in a downtrend. XLE, neutral bearish, actually just bearish, all right, downtrend underneath here. They could break below here. So there's XLE, energy sector. You can see underneath the trap, underneath the 17, underneath the midpoint in quadrant 1, looking ready to pop and make a lower low. So XLI, XLE, XLU, all in downtrends. Take a look at XLF. XLF is not quite in a downtrend right here. They got to break this low right here. We have a low here. They got below that. And we have a low here. So they're in a downtrend. XLF, they broke that low and this low. So XLF in a downtrend. They came up. Well, it's kind of iffy here. I usually like to see my valleys come below the 17. And I don't see any one of these valleys, so this is possibly still in an uptrend. For me, it's in a downtrend, breaking below this consolidation right here. If they break below, see all that consolidation, they broke below that. So for me, that's a downtrend. I mean, you could actually make an argument that they haven't broken this low down here and say it's in an uptrend. I get it. All right, but underneath here, you can see price action. That looks like an exhaustion candle, by the way, again, too. All of them got these exhaustion-looking candles. Price action, lower high, lower low, closing underneath the trap, underneath the 17, underneath all-time high anchored VWAP, and underneath the prior all-time high anchored VWAP. So XLF, for me, in a downtrend, technically, I like to see them below the 17. But they broke the consolidation right through there. So little head and shoulders going on. Look for the right arm to extend down as far as the left arm, which would be right down here. Okay, we'll see what happens. There's XLF. Let's take a look at XRT. All right, XRT still in an uptrend. Okay, because they didn't break the low here. Okay, so they're still in an uptrend. So XRT on the daily chart in the upper third, still bullish, just no longer consolidating and holding the higher ground. Maybe they recover that over the next 2 days. We'll see what happens. XRT is still in an uptrend, over the uptrend line, okay, making higher lows and higher highs. This might be the next higher low. We'll see what happens. XRT is still looking good, all right? Just not pretty, all right, but just still looking good, all right? So there's XRT. IYT is in a downtrend. You can see price action, higher high, lower low, closing underneath bearish trap underneath the 17, breaking this pivot and this pivot low. So definitely in a downtrend, down in quadrant 2 down here. So rough go of it here on IYT. All right, in a downtrend. That's a whole lot of selling. But that looks like an exhaustion candle, so maybe they head back up. We'll see how far up they can get. Maybe come back to this all-time high anchored VWAP. We'll see where they get. We've got a spike here right into the all-time high anchored VWAP. I do not know what that's all about. I actually think that's a bad tick. All right, so transport's in a downtrend. Semiconductors in a downtrend. XLK, all right, still in an uptrend. All right, they broke this low. You could justify them saying they're in a downtrend, but I'd like to see them. It's kind of iffy here. I'm just going to call it a downtrend because they broke that low. But you can make an argument that they haven't broken this low right here. All right, so they're not in a downtrend. All right, like I said, I like to see them underneath it, so I'm going to use the same argument I used with the other one. Still in an uptrend right there. All right, so there's XLK. Price action, higher high, lower low, closing underneath the bearish trap, underneath the 17. All right, so there's XLK up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. So still working there on XLK. All right, let's go take a look at the economic package. All right, because we got some data coming out this morning. Okay, here's the dollar still in an uptrend, ratcheting up even higher, up to 108.24. Okay, on the earnings calendar, what do we got coming up today? Accenture's going to report this morning. Cintas is going to report this morning. Accenture 223 billion, Cintas 84 billion. Nike reports tonight 116 billion right there if there's still 116. All right, tomorrow we got Carnival Cruises. I think there's 2 of them. Yeah, they're going to report tomorrow morning, and on Monday BHP is going to try to find their P&L and decide when they want to report. 129 billion. Again, all familiar names, but nothing that's really going to move the markets right there. On Max Payne, it'd be interesting to see what this is today. Max Payne today, 596. I'll be surprised if we get to 596. We'll see. All right, 596. Put to call ratio, not even 3/4 of a put to each call. All right, so a lot of people took put profit yesterday. All right, let's take a look at economic calendar. You're going to see we're going to have GDP comes out this morning at 8:30, about 1 minute. GDP comes out 8:30, all right. Jobless claims 8:30, Philly Fed 8:30, corporate profits 8:30, existing home sales 10, leading indicators 10, and a gas report at 10:30. And tomorrow we got quadruple riching, personal income and outlays, 8:30, consumer sentiment at 10. All right, so that's the calendar, and then there's the setup for this morning. All right, I'm expecting an inside day on the SPY today, same as QQQ. Probably going to be an inside day. All right, if it's not an inside day, I got to tell you, look out below. All right, so we'll see where they wind up, what they wind up doing. So GDP is coming out here in a minute. All right, so I'm going to take a break, get my video rendered and posted, and let me fix the 5+5, and I will see you guys in about 45 minutes.